Hello and welcome to the stream. I'm Tandy, and today we're going to be playing a little bit of Rakdos mid-range in, you guessed it, New School. New School is a format that I've been developing along with our community. It utilizes essentially the last 4 years worth of standard cards, starting in Eldraine going forward. We have a custom ban list that's very small, and we also have a Discord that's going to be linked down in the description. So if you're interested in learning about New School, make sure to join the Discord and get to chatting. There we talk about everything that the format has to offer, different decks, potential bannings, and everything. If you're watching this in Twitch chat, make sure to hit ! New School if you're interested in more of that information. But today we're going to be starting off with a little bit of Rakdos Midrange, a deck that tears up the Pioneer circuit right now, but honestly, most of the cards were made in the last couple years, so it seems like we just have most of it intact here for New School, and we're going to see just how good that can be. Now, I'll stress Fatal Push and Thoughtseize are legitimately the best cards in Pioneer. Like, legitimately, maybe 1 and 2. And losing both of them is pretty rough. We are trying to compensate for that by playing main deck Duress, which I'm hoping will be good against things like Fires of Invention or other mid-ranger control strategies or even combo decks. But there is very little that we can do to substitute for Fatal Push and Thoughtseize. They're some of the most dominant one-mana spells on the interactive scale ever printed. What we do have, though, is almost all of the threats and some of the interaction, as well as most of the mana base. Pathway, Den of the Bugbear, and Hive of the Eye Tyrant, all the Haunted Ridges, Sulphur Springs, even the Channel Lands, Soganzon and Takanuma were all made in the last few years, so we do get to play those in New School. So I'm pretty happy about that and excited. The deck uses cheap 2-mana creatures like Misery Shadow and Blood Tithe Harvester to pressure the opponent, backed up with efficient interaction like Power Word Kill, Abrade, and Duress. Our 3 drops are Where the Money's At, Graveyard Trespasser, Bone Crusher Giant, Fable the Mirror Breaker, and Liliana the Veil. All extremely, extremely different in how they attack the board, and all very good and versatile in how you can cast them. Sheoldred the Apocalypse is one of the best finishers I've ever seen, and I'm excited to play 3 copies. With that said, it may be much worse in this format than Pioneer because there's no Treasure Cruise. The sideboard, we got 4 Ray of Enfeeblement to help out against White Winnie as well as Winota. We're also playing 2 Sorin the Mirthless to help out against the grindy matchup so we can get some card advantage. A couple cut downs to be our 1-mana removal spell, but that could easily be Blood Chief's Thirst or what have you. 3 copies of Brotherhood's End as our generic sweeper of choice. 3 copies of Reckoner Bankbuster to help out alongside the Sorins for those grindy matchups. And a second Abrade for when we need to destroy some artifacts or just have another spot removal spell. That's Rakdos. We're going to be playing against members of the community. So just bear with me while we get a match set up and we'll get started. Opening hand looks pretty decent. We can lead off with either Hive or Haunted Ridge. It doesn't really matter. We're definitely going to keep, though. I'll probably lead with Hive. That way, if I draw a Den of the Bugbear, I can play a turn 2 Blood Tithe Harvester without much trouble. And if I... It might be better to play Haunted Ridge, though, if I'm being honest. But Matt's on a mold of 6. But Matt, I just want to say thanks for hanging out, man. Appreciate having you here. But Matt's a friend of mine from Roanoke. Playing it this way makes me play Soganzon as a land, though, which I'm not super stoked about. The Gingerman. Are we going to get Blood Tithe Harvester down? This is going to incentivize Bomat to maybe put some sort of buff effect on this, or maybe even pay for evasion. I'm fine taking a damage. All right, Spirited Companion, no big deal. So we can just clean up their board right now. I think I'm gonna. And hopefully they don't have another hasted thing. I think Liliana the Veil could be great. I'm fine losing it to a hasted thing, but if not, I'll probably just start ticking it up. Restoration of Iganjo. All right, definitely okay with that one. It's a little slow to get started, but obviously a very powerful card. All right, we'll tick up. I'm going to discard maybe Fable. It's not that interactive, and I'm going to be really light on resources here by the time I cast it. So we're just going to go ahead and get Sheoldred down as a big baddie. This is going to protect our life total. And our goal now is to essentially empty our hand as quickly as possible, but we can go like Lily minus, play another Lily. Okay, so Gingerbrute comes back, taps That is the only downside really of Restoration is the card comes back tapped, so haste doesn't really matter. But it's a very cool card. I really like Restoration of Aganja. Wedding Announcement main deck is real tough for me to beat, chat. Real tough. Just gonna go ahead and cash in my Lily. I don't want to discard the one in hand. I can go ahead and just keep the board clean. Keep pressuring the opponents. Now this can be annoying, but the Lily might ruin their day. But I'm definitely going to be boarding out Lily in the matchup. It's not very good against the card Wedding Announcements. Mistress Foundry is very scary. Another Restoration, though. I'm not really afraid of the things that are in play. Like, the Wedding Announcement normally is very good, but... Okay. Well, it has Death Touch. We're going to swing with both and see how they want to challenge this. I assume that they're going to double block this, or maybe even triple block this. Double Chump is also fine, and now we just get to own them with another Lily. Yo, what's up, Byron? Yeah, we're growing, Ryan. That's for damn sure. All right, so what are they going to bring back? You discard planes. They can bring back Spirited Companion to draw a card. Just kind of cycle. They can attack and kill Lily for 2 mana. If they draw a card, they take damage from the Shield Dread. Hell yeah, man. That sounds fun. Definitely interested in stress testing that card a bit more. I want to see more people's takes on the archetype. All right, here comes a bunch of goofballs. This has to be a deck revolving around what you calls it. All right, so we'll just slam with both. Let's see, if we activate this and attack, they turn on a Foundry. They have 3 blockers, so they still can't really kill the Shield Dread. I don't really, like, they'll take 3 from this, but I'd rather just send with both and then replace the Shield Dread if it dies. If it doesn't die, I'll just pop a blood token. So I can chump there, block here, or double block here. All right, so we'll just deal 1 to both. And we'll just play another one and keep churning and keep hurting them. They can gain some life with this. We do need to punch through the last bits of damage. Hive can help with that. But the front line, Yoshin Frontliner is not that scary. It's not a permanent buff. It's really just a 1-mana 1/1 artifact creature that works well with Michiko's Reign of Truth and such. The Wedding Festivities is very, very cool. All right, so now they have 4 blockers for 3 attackers, so they can chump, trade, and double block this. They can eat here, chump here, double block. All right, I'm going to attack with just the Shield Red and play another one. See how they want to trade. As long as they can gain life with the Ginger Brutes. Okay, that's fine. It's all just Shield Red. Just forever. Just beat Shield Red 100 times forever and ever. Amen. I wonder how long the game would go if I just never attacked with shoulders. Ha! All right, so Bowmat's at 2. You can gain life off of the Ginger Brute. Ooh, this may be a big old attack, but we are fine because we are at 29. The Ginger Brute can gain the 3 life. Restoration is not that scary because we have 29 life. I can eat the token that this generates, right? I don't think I trade. We can always chump if we really need to. Mistress Foundry is pretty cool in this format. All right, so we'll just say go. We'll force them to crack Ginger Brute. They go to 5, then they go to 3, and then we'll try to, you know, grind them out over the next 2 turns. Basically, just hope they don't draw a way to kill Sholdred or anything that's super scary. So it's a 7/8, so we can't block with Hive. We'll just take the 7 again. Yeah, Restoration's looking really good as like a mid-rangey card for these decks. The fact that you can get back a discard of Michigo's Reign of Truth is pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. All right. Well, we are going to essentially present lethal with this card because of the Shieldred draw. So they're going to need like Destroy Evil or some way. They didn't find it. All right. So we are going to want all the Brotherhood's ends and the Abrades and probably the cut downs. And then I'm not sure on the Raven Feedment. They are white, but they're also artifact themed. And then we definitely don't. I don't think we want the Duresses. I think they're too bad too quickly. And then the Lilies can go. Maybe we'll do one Ray. All these cards look pretty good. I don't mind the Croxes. They oftentimes like hold their last card, or I just fill my graveyard with removal. We're going to be playing a good bit of New School over the next couple months as we try to get our format off the ground. It's a format that I came up with, but we're working with the community to curate it and stuff. We're glad to have you. Right now, we're just challenging people in chat, people in the Discord. If you're interested in learning about the formats, ask away. We'll do our best to help. Digital, it was more so just I was sad that standard existed, you know, and I wanted to see if we could maybe do something that helped out with the standard woes. Pioneer is Pioneer, like nothing's going to change for a while, I don't think, and I'm not a big fan of just having to play against I'm not a big fan of having to play against freaking Mono Green Devotion for the rest of my life. All right, this is fine. We'll take the 1. Probably stomp it on my turn. It's possible that I should just ignore Ginger Brute too, though. I don't know. Like, I'm tired of not having any sort of creative control in the games that I play, you know? And I think that we can maybe turn standard into something really cool. And that's kind of what we're doing. We don't want this format to exist alongside standard. We want this format to exist instead of standard. All right, we're gonna play the Bone Man just because it's a pretty big blocker. They can give this haste and then spend a mana. If they want to spend a mana, that's fine too. We'll just easily block. And the next time we'll play 2 of these and then use those to clean up following creatures. If they spend a mana attack for 3, that's fine as well. Yeah, the standard rotation schedule is just very taxing on people, I think. So we're just like, you know, trying to alleviate those woes a little bit while also you know, building and curating the format in our own image, like the way that we want to play the game. You know, this type of thing doesn't really exist. Like standard is very boring. Like no one really wants to play it, right? So we are going to do it ourselves. Showdown? Oh, showdown's cool. All right, that'll be very scary next turn, but we're gonna do some stuff this turn. Really hammer them. We'll get to kill the portraits. And then we can just play Shieldred. Let's see. So they get restoration and maybe sash next turn. So we can just kill this to keep them from doing much of anything. We're just gonna play this shield dread, trying to drain their life a bit. The sash is not that scary because it just starts off so weak, and my graveyard doesn't really matter. But their Spirit Companion's worse now. Restoration's fine, but not that scary for a little while. I think that the big deal for standard is that every year half your cards rotate out, and that's just a little disheartening for most people. Like your average player doesn't want, half of their collection to stop being relevant after what, 6 months, 9 months, or whatever. Sometimes a set comes out and it's only legal for 15 months. It's just like very gross. But it makes some amount of sense when you think about what WotC's trying to do, right? They're trying to churn the format so that you buy new booster packs. And so what we're doing is we're essentially alleviating that churn by half, you know? And I think that that's the big draw for me anyway. All right, GG. Easy. All right, 1-0. That looks good. Exactly. So COVID essentially evaporated standard because over the course of lockdown, while tabletop stores were closed and stuff, LGSs were closed. What ended up happening is that people literally just stopped playing in real life, stopped buying cards in real life. And now it's like if you want to play standard, instead of having like a natural half of your collection um be viable, right? Whenever a rotation happens, none of your collection is viable. Got your ass, Bowman. Yeah, exactly, Gigs. I love the churn because it means new decks are going to be good and viable faster, like over a shorter period of time, more decks are going to be viable. And I think that that's inherently a good thing for people who really like actually playing Magic, like a jar. All right, well, we're going to kill that dude probably. Maybe we wait a turn. All right, we'll play Trespasser. We could get absolutely dumpstered in the next turn cycle. Power word kill should be good though at most points if we draw a land. We can play 2 or we can play Harvester plus a power word kill. Yes, this is the Bard class deck that Yo Man posted in the Discord. They're playing in right now. The Bard class is a very powerful card. Okay. Tap. Other legends you control have tap. All right. Sounds good. Land is genius, mate. Genius. See if they want to sack a jar. If they do, I think I'm actually okay with it. I don't really know what I'm supposed to be that scared of right here. All right, it's the same as just like killing it twice or whatever, or killing the jar first. So we just use 2 powered kills to clean up the board. We'll eat 1. I really just want to constrict their mana because with Bard class, mana is hugely important. Like I wouldn't be surprised if there was some combo stuff going on in the deck with like the 3 mana rock that lets you tap a legend for mana. Exactly, digital. No one really wants to play standard. They're only kind of playing standard because they have to for RCQs and for the regional championship next year. And so I'm hoping that at some point this just becomes a real format. I doubt it'll become a real format that quickly, but if Wizards sees that like this is just a sustainable good thing, then who knows? Maybe we'll be right up in there. All right, I don't think they have a thing that I can take with the rest, so I'm just not going to bother. I'm just going to play Shield Dread. Thoughtseize would be clutch there, but just not in the format. So what I really like about our threads chat is that they're great at being defensive and aggressive. It's very cool. Oh, is this the backside? The prismatic bridge. Was this any of your upkeep? Let you do a thing. I guess I should have. All right, let's go. Power word kill. And they should die to the bridge. All right, so do we want Ravenfieldment? No. Cut down? Yes. Total power toughness 5 or less. I think that thing was a 1/4, wasn't it? Braid's probably okay. Brotherhood's probably okay. The dresses can probably go. Like Bard class is the only scary card, but it's like kind of hard to snipe it from them sometimes. Croxa seems pretty weak, but Liliana seems good. All right, let's try this. All right. Mana base is feeling decent. I was afraid that the double red of Brotherhood's in might be a little too rough. So far, it's been fine. I think the artifact clause on it's going to be excellent. Very excited to see. Misery Shadow. We'll see. That's the first time we've drawn that. Hopefully it ends up being good. Plaza of Heroes is an interesting card, right? Because just like only plays legends, but does allow you to do some really cool stuff. All right, that's a good stomp target, but I don't really know what to expect, so I'm just gonna stomp. I can wait and try to Brotherhoods in to get multiple things. The haste is a little scary. I mostly just don't have a play if I don't kill it, because I can't play Shadow and then Brotherhoods in. I'd rather just wait on Shadow. Like, Shadow might not even deserve to be in the deck, to be frank. Oh, this also turns off this from producing red for other things. That's nice. So killing that was actually good. They can't play Bard class off of these lands right now. Titania? Okay, we'll Lilith if we draw a black source. We didn't. So Brotherhood's in, Lily having some trouble because we don't have Blood Crypt. This card is only scary with Argoth. It's a 3/4 reach. Whenever a land goes to graveyard, you gain 2 life. Not a huge deal. I don't know if there's graveyard shenanigans, but we're going to Trespasser to punish them if they don't play something next turn. They still can't play Bard class because we killed the Goro Goro. We'll take the damage. Oh, Relic of Legends. They could have played Bard class if they had it, so now I think they just don't have it. I'm going to attack. I think I'm just going to Shatter. Keep them off of mana. I like how modal most of my cards are, right? Like almost every single card I play has multiple uses. A Braid, Brotherhood's End, Misery Shadow is like a 2/2 2-drop, but like can also just do some cool stuff. This is a little scary, but I have the Braid, right? So now I'm just golden. If I draw any land untapped, it'll be good. All right, we'll just go ahead and kill the Hornfell. We'll attack and drain them. Don't really want to let them untap with Hornfell. Another one. All right, so they only have the 1 card, so maybe the Hornfell won't be so bad. Let's get a untapped land. Now, the Brotherhood doesn't kill the Hornfell, right? So let's attack with the Trespasser. We're getting a little low on life. That Lair of the Hydra is a little scary, but I still think we want to pressure them with creatures. We'll just play Bone Man since it can attack through the 3/4. But I'm assuming the next turn, we're going to have to fight off against this a little bit. There's not a whole lot of combo stuff going on because we've constricted their mana and their overall resources, but they can still discard both cards from hand to look at the top 4. So they discard 1, they reveal what? Okay, 2 lands. Perfect. So they can play 1 of the lands, and then they can discard the card from hand. That works with Titania. That's kind of cool. So they found the Bard class, so they can go 1 land Bard class. And they can activate. And then next turn they can maybe activate again and then play a bunch of stuff off the top. All right, so how do we win this game? We found our second black source, so we can Lily minus. They'll probably just sack the lair if we do, though. We can attack with just Bone Man. They're not actually drawing the card, so Shield Red is not that troubling. The Titanium itself is only problematic because it means the Trespasser can't attack. I feel like I'm gonna get freaking combo killed next turn, but I don't think there's anything I can do about it. Bard class just does that when you have enough mana, which is why we were trying to, you know, pressure their mana. If we'd had a one extra turn where we had black mana, we would have been better off. All right, we're gonna attack. I'm gonna stomp this post combat, I think. Actually, I kind of want it in the graveyard for a future activation of Trespasser. All right, so we'll just let damage happen. Maybe they'll brick. I do want it in the graveyard, so I'm doing this before I cast Misery Shadow on purpose. All right, so top two are bad, just lands, but now they can just activate Bard class and then play cards off the top of their deck, right? Oh, they don't have a legendary spell to cast. They needed to find one, they didn't. So they can activate, and then they're just dead to the board. They have a chump blocker, but I think Shield Red gets them. Land for Den also gets them. All right, so if we activate Den, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. GG. All right, 2-0 with Rakdos. Long story short, this is a community-made format started by me, and we're trying to make it into a real thing. This is essentially just, if you played Magic a while, you should think of this as Extended. This is essentially the heart of what Extended wanted to be a decade ago. But the problem with Extended properly was that it was designed to basically exist alongside Standard and kind of on top of Standard. Now, though, I think it should replace Standard. I think there's just too big of a gap between like Pioneer and the new sets, and it's pretty evident that like the churn of new sets, you know, rotating half your collection every year is a bummer, and just adding a few more years to the constructed format's fine. All right, my hand is not that good in the matchup. Hopefully we draw a land here, though. Our deck seems to be pretty good against aggressive creatures. All right, well, this stinks. We'll see what Keegan can do. We'll see how good Keegan's deck is, and then we'll get a bunch of sideboard cards in our deck. I'll just stomp again. We'll just assume that there's not a lot of targets. I don't really know what he's playing other than Sultai stuff. Tap land, exactly, perfect. The games have been real sweet so far, though, Demon Spawn. Just, I don't know. A lot of the stuff you're used to, not a whole lot of broken stuff. And I don't know. You know, like, aggro decks seem fine. Even, like, Winota so far seems fine, which is kind of crazy to me. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and play a Shield Red. And before I play Lily, I think Lily ticking up would have been pretty good, like, 2 turns ago. I think no matter what I play, it's gonna get countered. I feel like they're just playing like a Sultai rampy whatever. Like Brazen Bar hits this, like all sorts of stuff. Go for the throat. Rip. Please be Titan's Nest. I mean, they haven't put anything in the graveyard yet. You need Titan's Nest to have graveyard synergies. It's probably just like big guy. Okay, I can beat a big guy. Fourth Bone Man. It's just a big guy. Yeah, Ultimatum is very scary. Ultimatum is a card that I am afraid of existing. Seagate Restoration. Good lord. And their 80 card Yorion. Very cool. Yeah, that sounds sweet. They discarded a Boseiju. I do think that mid-range decks like this just get absolutely dunked on by like the bigger mid-range decks and the bigger control decks. Like our deck is just so chock full of removal that's pretty cap against, large spells. Like even Seagate Restoration is like kind of crazy. I didn't think this card was legal. I should definitely have this card in my sideboard. I don't know if it's better than Brotherhood's End. It's certainly less intense on the mana. Cultivates. All right, let's hope we draw an untapped land so we can play our hand out. And then tick up. Yeah, but they didn't ultimatum me yet, which is nice. So all four Bone Mans. Welcome, Cheetos. Epiphany, GG. Epiphany's another card that's on the scary list. Binding. Wow. Dumpstered. Even if they don't play anything else for the rest of the game, I don't know that I could beat Hall. And their hand just has to be cracked. All right, so they're going to just kill Lily, attack me for 2 probably. Maybe they attack Lily for 2 and then hit me for 7. All right, Lily down. Got some Bone Mans. Zero built turns. A couple people have tried just like, is it stuff? Like they played the Dragons, they played Goldspan, they played Galvanic. We've only played against that once though. The trick is finding games. Like it's we have a Discord that is like starting to pop off, finding games and stuff. So it's been nice on that front. If y'all are interested in joining the Discord, I'm gonna link in chat. But we got people talking about potential bans, even potential unbans. Like I don't think things should be unbanned, but some people do. I think that's kind of cool. I don't want to double block. I feel like we're just going to lose to a removal spell, and it's going to take a minute to die to that. All right, we'll fire up the den. We'll declare attacks. We'll do this since we drew the land. Next of Fate isn't legal, right? No, it's not. Neither is Wilderness Reclamation. Auron's Epiphany is not the only time walk, though. There is another one from a newer set that is also kind of scary. And so if we ban Auron's Epiphany, the people might just like play that instead. So instead of banning Epiphany, it might be better to ban Ultimatum if Ultimatum becomes a problem. But like, I don't know how problematic it's going to actually be. This is all just figuring things out. We're going to be running a tournament next week. I haven't decided the final details yet. We're still working on it. We have one sponsor already for 500 bucks. And yeah. Wow, I can't believe it. I might win this game, man. All the bone mans in the world. Here comes the ultimatum. They finally found it. And now we get to see how dead we are. We're essentially dead whenever this card gets cast, and I think that is terrifying. Like, okay, so we have to give them Cure Best or Shadow's Verdict or Auron's Epiphany. So do we just give them Cure Best and Auron's Epiphany? Do we die? We just die that way, right? Because they have the Hall. So we have to give them Shadow's Verdict plus Auron's. I guess we don't give them the Time Walk. You can basically just never give them the Time Walk. So we get Wrath, and then they get an 8/8. And so we have to beat an 8/8. It's going to be very difficult. If they were at slightly lower life, we can maybe get them with Hive. All right, GG. All right, so we'll get in. Let's see. I don't think Powered Kill's going to be that good. Lily's good. Bone Crusher's meh. Abrade's pretty weak. We don't have a whole lot of like more discard in the sideboard. Maybe that's a problem. Let's bring in the Bankmans and the Sorens and cut Power Word and Abrade. Seems okay. We want to be low to the ground aggressive. We also want Duress. We already have it in the main though, so there's just not a lot to bring in this build anyway. I think so too, Carbros. I think it's gonna be fun, man. Format and tournaments. Oh, absolutely imminent. It's not that I don't think that some decks can beat it with interaction or whatever. It's more so I'm just scared that they will cause unfun games, right? Like, I don't like one card combos, and I think that most people don't like one card combos. All right, so I'll just take Bankbuster first. That way, I'll just duress the binding later. I'll go Bankbuster next turn, probably. What's up, Smoochie? All right, so they show me the forest. Straw a card. Try to hit a land drop. We missed. Next turn, they'll play a land. We'll duress the binding, and then we got to figure out a way to beat binding if we don't draw the land for the Lily. We have two bindings. All right, well, rip. I probably should have just drawn a card off Bankbuster, but the second binding is like super annoying. If all they do is play shoulder, I'll be very happy. But binding is like actually messed up in the grinding mid-range mirrors. Wrong color land? Yeah, but that's because we don't have it's 100% because we don't have what you calls it. Blood crypts. You know, like there's stress to the mana base, which is very cool. I always found it kind of annoying that everyone was able to play whatever they wanted. Two color decks, like we have, 12 dual lands, but is that enough? I don't know. Maybe not. All right, so it's Lily. We'll minus. The Shadow's Verdict hit Planeswalkers, chat? Can someone confirm? Yeah. Okay. So we lose our Lily and our Blood Tithe here, or they just peeled Ultimatum and we die. Ooh, that's pretty scary too. An 8/8. That's gonna tap on my shit next turn. So let's go Duress you. We know that that's there. That's hexproof. Let's go Shieldred. Tick up, so they have to attack this. Here we go. All right, so they can attack and kill Lily after they tap all our stuff. but then we can maybe pressure them next turn. Oh, that's cool. It taps Lily. No, 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 no. Bye, Yorian. Okay. All right. Yorian for Kiora Best next turn. Very scary. So they have to attack and kill the Lily, and then we just get them with a Den, and then they lose this. The Yorian Blink doesn't do anything. That's fine. All right. Anything in the graveyard matter? I think getting Trespasser down so I have an extra thing that it pressures is good. And they don't have any creatures in the yard. I'll just eat my own thing. Deal them a damage. All right, so they lose the cure. They take 2 from the Shield Dread. They're gonna play the they gain control of a permanent. I forgot that this did that. That's crazy. All right, you win. I quit. GG. You ever fire up Arena? It's been a while, eminently. It's been quite a while. I was big into Pioneer for a year, and they don't have Pioneer on Arena. So it is what it is. They don't give me the formats I want to play. I'm not going to use their client. I also think that their economy was uh, extremely predatory for a long time. It's a little alleviated now, but it was extremely predatory if you didn't draft like a bajillion times. And all I want to do is play constructed. Maybe Tim. As I think that Emergent Ultimatum specifically is like very scary. So it's still extremely predatory. Yeah, exactly. I don't really, I ain't trying to be about that life. I ain't trying to get hosed. Like I know how much I was spending to play the game on Arena, and using a bar service on Magic Online is just so much better. I can still just do whatever I want without spending much money. Portable hole. Okay. Opt. Let's go ahead and get Trespasser down. We'll try to hold on to the Sokunzan as long as possible. But I will play it to play Shoulder next turn, assuming that I want to play the Shoulder next turn. This guy. You want this in an op deck? What are you doing, Bomat? We're going to attack first. We're going to flip our thing and then force him to play 2 spells next turn. Maybe we messed up. I think I might have just missed a point. We'll go Power Word Kill first. That way, if they have protection, we'll stomp second, and then that will... we should have done that pre-combat. It's fine. That way, we gotta eat this an extra ping. But I wanted to resolve the Bun Man. I don't care about resolving the Power Word Kill, but we're immediately getting punished. Very cool. All right, they discarded a land. Just gonna stomp this. We'll attack, eat, play Sheoldred. I think getting Sheoldred down is better than just playing in a Braid, since I don't have the land for the Boneman. So far, the mana base has felt pretty good, though. Yeah. Buying wild cards is a step in the right direction, but it's still, like, just too taxing. GG, boys. Turns out Sheoldred may be pretty good. Bring in some cut downs. I think those could be good against their stuff. Maybe Raven Feebleman as well. Maybe Brotherhood's in as well if they have Portable Hole. All right, let's do all this. I'm going to cut the dresses again. Like, they have stuff to target, but they're like a weird hybrid deck. Jesus! Spiky! Yo, did we get the 5-0? Dude, I had to leave at 3-0, and I had put all my 27,000 points on you going 5-0. I hope you fucking spiked it, bro. Tell me we got the 5-0 on the second league with the Neoform, please. I need to know if my points are safe. Took it out! No! No, my points! My points! God dang. Oh, well. Welcome, Raiders. For those of you just joining, I'm Tandy, and we are playing a new format that I built. It's called New School. If you're a longtime player, you should know this as extended. The last 4 years of sets are legal, um, as long as they were printed in standard. Except we have a custom ban list. Our custom ban list right now consists of Once Upon a Time, Oko, Uro, and Omnath. Everything else is legal, including Winota, Fires of Invention, all the companions. It's been a lot of fun brewing decks and stuff. We're gonna have a tournament next week. So if you'd like to hit the follow button and keep up with what's happening in New School, that'd be pretty cool. What we're trying to do essentially is to replace Standard. I think Standard is a little too painful to the average player's pocket since the rotations happen so quickly. And I think that if we just present them with proof of concept that this format could be better than Standard, then I think what's going to end up happening is we get to have 2 extra years of life for all of our new cards. You know, I think that could be a really good thing. The gameplay so far has been very good though, and I'm very happy about it. We'll keep this hand. I'm gonna put back a braid. It's weird, but it just messes with the curve a bit with this. Is Loris degen? We don't know yet. The format has literally been alive for 3 days. You know, I didn't discover it or whatever. I just thought of it on Monday. I built the Discord on Tuesday. Well, actually, I built the Discord on Monday night and then opened the Discord on Tuesday, started streaming it. And I've streamed it every day this week. And it's been a lot of fun. The players have been extremely receptive to it. No one really wants to play Standard, and I think this could be a great alternative. Anyone got next match? I don't think so. All right, well, Den of the Bugbear, so we have the option to Brotherhood's End if we need to next turn. If you'd like to join the Discord, !Discord. You can find games. You can look for ideas. People have been building decks all over the place. It's looked really sweet so far. All right, so our goal here, I guess, is just to sweep up the tokens with Wedding Announcement. I don't think they'll have much in the way of graveyard interaction or graveyard matters stuff. So we'll just get this down. We'll chew it up. Maybe next turn we just won't even play anything. We'll just play Hive and let this flip so that our Brotherhood's End can sweep everything without killing this. Yeah, Moose, it's been a lot of fun so far. The games are great. You want next? All right, so Monkey Brain and then you. I feel like I'm going to get counterspelled. Didn't get counterspelled. I'm just not going to attack. I feel like there's going to be a flash something, or maybe it's Wandering Emperor or whatever. Just don't really know what's going on. Yeah, you can play against me. You can also play against people in chat. All right, so they're going to flip the Glutton, but they're taking a ton of damage here. Let's see if they make another token or if they buff and put something on something. I wonder if Shieldred's about to die. I assume not. Who knows, though? No counterspell. No counterspell. Oh my god, I forgot it hit Wandering Emperor too. How freaking crazy is that? I forgot that it hit Planeswalkers too. This card's so good. I love Brotherhood's End. Oh yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Shout out again to Spike for the huge raid, man. Thank you so much. I'm a big fan of the Spike community, big fan of the stream. I'm in there all the time in the morning before my stream starts. And he makes it look easy, but he's insane. Like, he just puts in so much work. Easy. Easy game. Easy game. All right. Let's play a couple more matches with this Rakdos mid deck because it's feeling pretty good. Tibalt Trickery legal. Currently is. Don't know for how long. We'll see if it ever is a problem. If it ever, like, top 8's a tournament, I'll probably just ban it, honestly. I don't like banning things, but that card is particularly stupid. It's very similar to Once Upon a Time, but in the complete polar opposite direction, where Once Upon a Time is like this weird game-breaking thing that makes your deck more consistent. Tibalt Trickery is like this weird game-breaking thing that forces your entire deck to become a meme to try to enable it, like zeros and stuff. Ward and First Strike. This card's pretty scary. Ward is very good. How big is it? It's a 1/1. The backside's a 2/1. I was like, is that a 2/1 ward for 1 mana? That's crazy. All right, let's go ahead and duress and see if we can take away one of their uh things. All right, so this is a light pause deck. Oh no, we might get whooped here, chats. It's okay, Marshmallow. That's fine. I actually like stress testing the messed up stuff. That's kind of some of the point, you know. I won't ban anything again until we have a tournament. That's for dang sure. I need more information, and it's not information that I can gather on my own. Yep. Yep. That's funny, but man, that's okay. I don't think it would have helped you too much anyway. Dude, Shoulder had something else in it. All right, let's target the light pause. They're gonna protect. I know that they have another light pause in hand. All right, I'm fine with them just like spinning a turn, going for this thing. That's fine. I'm gonna main phase, pitch a blood token. I'm gonna let them go for a targeted on the a targeted thing on this because this doesn't trigger until the thing enters the battlefield. So if they go for an aura, I just slam a removal spell on it and it doesn't even come into play, right? Although I guess they can equip the other thing and then the aura goes on the light pause. But I guess when they target Chaplain, I'll just kill light pause in response. I'll seed. So we killed the light pause. They're just gonna play another one, but they'll be tapped out. So I guess that's fine. Why not call the format extended? Extended actually has different connotations in Magic than you think. In the olden days, extended was actually what is now modern, and it just went further back. Although it wasn't static, it had a rotation system. And the extended that you're thinking of is the one that was about 10 years ago that was the 4-set standard. And that format was basically designed to kind of bridge the gap between legacy and whatever the most recent standard format was. The delta was extremely large, and extended was a little bit untenable at the time because it just was too big. I don't want to replace, or sorry, I don't want to exist in a world alongside um, standard with this format. I want this format to replace standard. I think that the best way to do that is to show that the format is good. And when we do that, then we'll be in business. I don't even know what this does. Probably not that good against Liliana, huh? See if they have a thing I want to target. They don't. This is the downside of duress, chat. It's extremely mediums. All right, let's attack. The Lily's dead anyway, so we'll just go ahead and pressure their life a bit. At some point, they can go like block with Alseed, sack, protect. Maybe we'll activate Den and attack next turn. Hopefully, they just don't peel anything for light pause. This card's kind of crazy. They do have the ability to just buy Luris, which they might do this turn. Or they can play Chaplain. All right, well, now they go get stuff with light pause. We'll see how bad it's going to be. It's more about rebranding than anything. You know, like if I just call it extended, hey, let's bring extended back, then they might bring it back, but they're not going to use it to replace standard. I want to replace standard. I think standard is actively bad, and it's bad for the game. And I think that we can essentially prove that standard is great, or the standard is not great, and our format is great. All right, so we're taking some damages. All right, hopefully we draw a removal spell. All right, so let's go attack. We're gonna get their whole board this turn. We're gonna go stomp the token and then edict the light pause. He's playing the format one more time. Someone in chat can. I've expended 4 times already in the last 10 minutes, so. All right, so they just let it happen. Eldraine forward. Standard only legal cards. Custom ban list. That's the elevator pitch. Your time is up. See you. That's the long and short of it. Uro, Oko, Omnath, and Once Upon a Time are all banned. Everything else is legal for now. First tournament's next week. I've answered the same question 1,000 times. It's not a big deal. I don't mind answering them again. All right, so we can go Trespasser. We'll eat one of the chaplains from the graveyard. Not really afraid of the Lurrus for right now. We'll tick up. An attack is easy. Why is standard bad for the game? How is adding a random format not making the game worse? What about adding a format makes the game worse? I don't think so. It just gives people a way to play the game with their cards that they bought, you know? I think adding a format is actively good if there's enough, you know, if enough people want to play it, right? I'm answering the question right now. So I think standard's bad for the game because every year half your collection rotates out. I think that it's just a little too grinding, you know? Also, you don't have to be rude, Nine Balls. Like, I'll answer your question. You just, just give me freaking 1 second. Like, every year half your collection rotates. What about that is good for the game? Like on Arena, how many dead cards do you have on Arena because standard? You know? Yeah, I don't want to divide the player base. My goal is to replace standard. I don't think that that's so alien, right? Like, I think that's a fine concept. Let's see. I think I just want mono interaction, so we'll just trim some of the creatures and bring in a bunch of removal. It's unlocked. You don't have to pay the Patreon fee to read the article. It's the first article on there right now. You can just go there right now. And what it does is it explains the theory behind the format. It explains the ban list, and it explains the goals that I have in place for the format. Yeah, that's kind of my thinking too. And with a similar rotation schedule, I don't think it's that damaging. You know, I think that you just get to play with cards longer. That's nice. You get to have more answers to things, right? Like nothing can be that problematic if the format is big enough. Like it's so hard for something to break legacy. It has to be extremely, extremely pushed. When something is extremely pushed and breaks legacy, it's always kind of a sad day, you know? Yeah, you get to see cards shine that did not get a chance in standard because they were just pushed out by Oko and Omnath and Uro and all those cards that eventually got banned but didn't get banned for long enough. You'll get to see tribal decks that didn't get to exist. You'll get to see interactions that no one's ever seen before. Yeah, I'm like initiative is just silly though, you know. Such a weird format. All right, so they're gonna go for something. I'm gonna kill this in response. You should always, if you're not doing crazy shit, this card should always target your other creatures because if Light Pause dies in response, you just get hosed. Lily's actually been looking really good today so far. I've been very happy with how Lily's been in multiple matchups. Now we just get to hose their ward creature with an edict. Everything's going great. You just block constructed? Yeah, block constructed was another great way to see those synergies and utilize those cards, but it just goes in the opposite direction, right? Your cards are just viable for way less time instead of more time. Like block constructed in the standard was always kind of cool for Pro Tour formats. There's just a lot of churn, but we got different ways to use our stuff. When they eliminated block constructed, they eliminated blocks. It became much worse, you know, in general for new cards. And Now with COVID essentially deleting an entire year or two's worth of standard cards, it's just much harder to want to. It's much harder to want to invest in standard, especially in tabletop. All right, let's go. I'm gonna discard maybe Shatter Skull. This card probably shouldn't be in the deck. It feels pretty weak. I think I'll play Hive, but maybe I'll play Blight Step. That way I can double power word kill and then untap. But I might not need to. I might just be able to Brotherhoods in next turn. Like if they just go land, Luris, get back Light Paws, cast Light Paws, I'll just use Brotherhoods in to sweep them up, right? Yeah. You also get to see unique synergies that didn't exist in previous standard that may be good enough for a modern pioneer. Yeah, exactly. All right, so this has 2/1 ward 1 flying first strike. Each creature you control has ward 1. Okay, we'll pay the 1. Yeah, Shatter Skull. What'd I say? I'm sorry. You didn't say which card? I said I was discarding Shatter Skull. A card probably shouldn't be in the deck. That's what I said. I think it's fine. My Patreon has just been kind of buggy lately as far as like loading is concerned. It's like kind of annoying. Have y'all been able to see the Patreon thing okay? Like my post is just like not even loading on my screen. It's very annoying. Yeah, exactly, Tog. And like this format might get solved quickly too, but I think that that's also okay. Like we can ban things. I am not beholden to the bureaucracy of Wizards of the Coast. If something is problematic, it will get banned. And like the goal eventually is to not ban. Oh no! No! No, Lily, no! It's fine. I keep forgetting. It hits planeswalkers. It's so sick. I gotcha. Yeah, I was having a little trouble last night too. It's not always. All right. What do we do now? That was a great draw. All right, we'll play this. We'll go ahead and bring it back. Yeah, exactly, Keegan. Okay. So we get the last cards out of their hands. We have Bone Man to clean it up. We got Hive the Eye Tyrant to keep going. We got a Clue Token to sack. We're doing great. Oh, we're going to take 3 damage, though. This thing's a little scary. I'll probably just maybe cast Bone Man. I might draw Clue. We'll see. If I draw lands, I'll just go... Okay. Probably just go Stomp Play. And now next turn we can attack for 7, so we're winning the race easily. This can trade, but it can't block Hive, so we're good. Sindel's Eyes equipping this doesn't really matter, so land draw is fine. That is correct, Mr. Bjornos. New School is not a sanctioned Wizards of the Coast format. It is a format that I have made and we have kind of worked on as a community for the last 3 days. That's it. But it's awesome. The games are fucking sweet. The cards that see play are awesome, and I've been having so much fun playing it and play testing. Yes, it's not sanctioned format yet. That's true. Yes, M21 is legal. 2, 3, 4. All right, we'll just play Shield Red. Classic top decks. So they're dead on board if they attack with Cave. They can go attack with Cave and then use the mana and another land to play a 2-drop. So they can have a chump blocker. Now they can Sentinel's Eyes from the graveyard. Okay, this is actually pretty good for them. Now that we don't have to worry about Ethereal Armor. That card's not legal, but still very good for them. Carp Blazer says, good luck with New School, Todd. Excited to see where the format goes. Yo, Carp Blazer, thanks for the 22 months. Me too, man. I'm very excited. I might, Ryan, but I might give it the 9 months, you know? Like, we'll have to just see. I would rather ban Yorion than ban Fires. I think Fires promotes, like, a very cool type of gameplay. And it's one that I'm, like, pretty fine with in general. Sheesh. Yeah, Obomobo, that was kind of like the last card left, right? There was Winota, Fires. I don't even see they had a card in hand. Oh, they drew it. That's sick. They're still dead to this, though. Winota, Fires, Yori, and Luris are like the 4 big ones that are still scary. All right. All right, we're here for game number 1. I'm on the play. My hand's great. We're going to keep. That's all you have built. Okay. All right. All right. I'll play you as a meme. You'll be the secret 6th match. Secret 6th match. You're fine. We've only been doing 3 with the new deck so far, and this time I'm just really enjoying the Rakdos deck because I'm winning and it feels good. I feel like I built it pretty well. You ever drink water out of a quart cup? That's big worked in a restaurant moves. Brushlands. Passing of the turn. All right, we'll go with Bloodtide Harvester. The more that I play with Misery Shadow, the more I feel like I just have enough stuff to do with my mana that I don't need it. I think I'd rather have the underdog. Oh, Byron. Oh, Byron. All right, what I'm going to do, Byron, is I'm just going to F6 through my turn, and I'm going to let you play a land. I'm just going to F6 through my turn. We'll just say Time Walk or whatever. Was it Court Cup? Court Cup. I might have said it wrong. Well, wrong format, Gut. Wrong format. All right, I am currently tapped out. All right, so we'll go Duress, see what's up. We'll see if we can hit a Fable or something. 2 Chariots. So they got Kenra, Tovolar, Winota. So they can go for the Winota next turn. So we'll just kill this. Play another Harvester. And we're just going to lose to the Winota. I mean, we'll probably lose to Chariot, but we'll lose to Winota as well. Hopefully I draw a land so I can play Misery Shadow and hold up Power Word Kill. If I never go in with a Power Word Kill, it's just like they don't have to play the thing ever. Well, you can play it for just a few months probably before it gets banned in this format too. The Chariot awaits. All right, we didn't draw the land. I'll go ahead and just discard a Misery Shadow. Say go. We'll just hold a Power Word Kill for everything. I can't give them the two cats either. That's the gross part. Maybe I should have used this to kill a cat so that they had to play Winota to crew Chariot, and then they only get one trigger. But like, now I just have to burn through Chariot. It's going to be extremely difficult. All right, so they're going to use the Winota to crew the Chariots, and then they're going to attack for a bunch. We'll probably just trade for a cat and then play Shieldred next turn and try to brick them off. All right, so Winota down. So I know their hand has 3 cards. They have Tovlar Kinrith. Just all one word. It's okay. It's not really typo. All right. So the Shieldred should just be good enough to brick wall the thing for a turn. We could have saved a land for the blood token for later. I think I'm just not going to discard either card and just save this for when I draw another land. And we'll kind of just hope Shieldred brick walls the Chariot for a turn. If they have a land, they can play Kinrith, but then we power word kill it. The the arena queue for the Discord's actually been popping off the last couple days, more than the MTGO one, honestly. I think because people just already have a bunch of these old cards, which is nice from their previous, standard formats. Definitely happy making this trade. I'll take 4 damage to eat a Chariot for sure. And then we'll power kill this, and then it'll be Shieldred versus 3 cats. This might mean that he has another Eskus Chariot in hand with the Tovlars. Yeah. Appreciate you jumping in the Discord and playing games, though, Mini Pet. All right, let's power kill this thing. I'm gonna play Misery Shadow. I'm gonna attack with the Shieldred to try to constrict their life total a bit, and maybe we'll just cheese them with the Shieldred triggers. And Misery Shadow can still block a token and pump. If they play Brutal Cathar and kill the Misery Shadow, it's not the greatest. But if we draw an untapped land, we can Shatter Skull 2 things for 2. And really, we just want to try to close the game, It's going to be difficult against Huntmaster if they draw the land, though. But our best bet to win the game is to, drain them with the Shieldred. It's just, like, so hard otherwise. All right, well, they have the land, so here comes the big baddie. The Huntman. All right, here comes the Huntman. It is now daytime. I wonder if 4 damage is worth throwing away a token. We'll see. All right, we'll definitely block with our 3/3. Take some damage. And then we have to figure out a way to punch through this Huntmaster. It's going to be very difficult. We'll go to 10. We'll go ahead and main phase Stomp and then play our thing. All right, so they're at 8. I will probably trade Shieldred for Huntman. This is Brutal Cathar? No. Chariot? No. Kenrith, very scary. All right, so we probably have to block Kenrith or Huntmaster in some way. The shadow has to block. All right, so let's go eat this, trade here, and then trade with this. We'll take 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that any even good? What's easier to beat? 6, 7, 8. Go to 2. I don't think there's any way to survive with to keep Shieldred in play. Since I'll have trample. This is 2 damage. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so this is too much. So we have to block with Shieldred, so which one do we want to block? Probably the Kenrith. Is there any way to do this and then kill them with a shadow? Let's see, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is lethal, right? With the shadow? With an untapped land? Do you want if you block all their tokens? If we block all their tokens, we take 11 damage and we're at 10. None of our creatures have lifelink, friend. So this is 3 trample. This is none. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we win if we draw an untapped land. This doesn't do it. So I'll block like this. Untapped land, let's measure your shadow. Get in there. Oh, yeah. Let's go. Don't think I could have won the game any other way than cheesing. So cheese it is. All right, let's board in Raven Feeblement to help out with specifically Winota. Brother's in to kill the tokens, and I don't think we want the Abrade, but it does kill. Maybe we do. It kills Chariot. Chariot's pretty problematic. I think Lily the Veil sucks. Trespasser is pretty weak. And then I actually kind of like the Croxes. The Duresses can definitely go, though, so maybe we just leave these. Some number. It's all interaction. Cut down maybe is okay. I feel like it doesn't target enough stuff. I don't know. I'm not trying to kill a bunch of freaking 2-mana 1/1s, you know. Well, if anybody knows Dan Bobes and can get the bot back in the channel, I would appreciate it, but I do not know Dan Bobes. This hand is very good. We're gonna keep for sure. The guy, I've been to the website, I've tried. It doesn't work. It's because I changed my name a while back, and I don't know. And my Twitch still remembers my credentials incorrectly or whatever. Oh, MTG bot page. Okay, so let's see. Let's go to Twitch/MTG bot. So we go to chat, join. All right, there we go. Look, I've literally asked someone for help for like months, and that's the first time anyone gave me useful information, so not my fault. Now, what we need to do, I need to be able to. No, I don't want to mod it. I'm not trying to give that bot mod powers. Oh, okay. I guess I have to. I'm just gonna ban him again in like a day. For just, I don't know how to change the commands is the problem. Fable O, the Mirror Breaker. Yeah, figuratively and literally. You pay me the big bucks, actually. Should I power and kill this stupid goblin? See? See, I don't want this shit in my chat. Fuck that. I don't like that. Get out of here, super spam. Gangway! What's up, Doomwake? Thanks, MD the Ones, for the 5 gifted subs. Imagine Gillen getting a 2-year sniperoo. Get owned. Ape shit finally getting the gifted sub he always wanted. All right. Should we kill this stupid goblin? I think so. I don't want them to get the treasure to play chariots. But maybe that's just me beefing. Movie is that from? It's from the movie Hook. Hook. This will be like the first time I've played Fable. Maybe I should have played Blood Tithe Harvester. If I play Blood Tithe Harvester, I can at least bluff, but also if I get hit for a bunch, I can go Blood Tithe Harvester -2 the Winota, untap, play Brotherhood's End. I just hope they don't have Winota, but it's always Winota. Brutal Cathar, that's way better. All right, so now we just sweep them up, and then game should be well in hand at that point. If they had Winota, they would have cast it, right? So this just means that we just have to worry about 5 drops or whatever. The sweeper should be great, though. We're just going to pitch 2 extra lands. We'll go Brotherhood's End for 3 to everything. Play Den tapped. Oh, are we getting Heroic Intervention? Nope. Thank the Lord. Heroic Intervention doesn't seem that great in the format because one of the best sweepers is Extinction Event. I'm not even playing it though, so maybe I should be. Chariot. Dang, that's tough. It's hard to beat, man. That's a great follow-up. I don't think I can let everything sit, though, for another turn. All right, so we'll just play Fable Harvester, and I'll try my best not to be dead. All right, chill it with make an MTG bot spam flavor shit, please. I don't have the time to go change all the commands, which is literally why I banned the bot in the first place. I don't know how to change the commands. I've tried, but it's hard to interact with just that bot. Like if I try to change commands or add commands, I just don't want it to be my primary bot. I just want it to only do the card stuff. All right, Brutal Cathar, what are you going to take out? That's a good question. Probably the Goblin Shaman. Ooh. Talking about the spammers? No. They're like friends or whatever. Almost everyone in here is just like people I know, just chilling. Max, that's super cool, man. All right, so Chariot coming in. We're going to trade with a token probably, just to prevent damage or prevent life loss. I guess we could double block Chariot and then just look for sweepers. It's probably better. We have 2 more brothers in we can find off the Fable, or something like Shieldred can just buy us a lot of time. Removal on the Brutal Cathar can buy us time. The Chariot is just very scary Brave Enfeeblement. That's a good removal spell. I probably should have played that pathway on black since we have the 2 Den of the Bugbears. All right, let's just go ahead and eat one of their creatures. And say go. Hold up Ray for exactly Winota. We have the blood token to pitch here. Wow. All right, let's just go ahead and kill this thing. Get our token back. They might have attacked with everything. Two black's enough though, right? All right, Bone Man's fine. We'll just double cast Bone Man next turn. Chariots. Hee hee. Tee hee, chariot. Tee hee. I don't really want to kill Prosperous Innkeeper. No, Byron. No. No, Byron. There's a 3/3. No. All right, so we'll go Stomp plus cast Bone Man. And then we'll do cast Harvester and then start activating next turn with Kiki Jiki. The 4/4 or the 4/3 can check the chariots. We could attack with the Trespasser, I think. But if they play Winota, I want to max punish and just eat most of their creatures that are attacking. There's no space, Madden. Wow, Winota Peel, Dedge. Imagine. Imagine this card. Missed a crew from the Winota. Very happy about that, but I'm not sure if it's going to matter. I think I'm just going to get owned this turn. Whoa, they missed the first. Maybe they sided out a bunch of their humans, or maybe they just give me a big old whiskey. All right, all it is a Winota so far. If this Winota misses or only finds another Winota, we might be in business. We get to eat some stuff. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Byron, if you're able to listen to this, make sure that with the chariot, you crew the Winota first. All right, well, if it's Brutal Cathar, maybe they're just figuring out what they want to Brutal Cathar. Or they're just choosing between things. Okay. If they hit Reflection, the Winota gets to stay probably, which is very, very bad. Oh, yeah. I mean, that was maybe the worst Winota hit possible. But he missed a Chariot activation, which... Once Byron gets to play with the cards a bit more, I'm sure he'll see them better. Byron mostly plays Standard. I've known Byron, like, most of my adult life or whatever. Me and Byron are, like, super tight. Like, if I was in Birmingham and I needed a favor, I could call Byron and he'd help me bury a body, probably, you know? It's all right. Yeah. No, you're a chemist, right? Like, we'd go get some lye. Yeah. All right, let's see if we can get out of this situation. All right, we'll eat the 2 things that don't have indestructible. We'll take 8 damage down to 8. We get to play Harvester, copy, kill the Winota, and then we kind of just have to beat the Chariots, you know? Oh, what a good draw. All right, let's go Harvester. We'll get another blood token. We'll use this one to kill the Winota. And then we'll say go. Since we played a spell, this is not going to transform. Maybe I can attack, actually. Let's eat the Winota. And now we can use Ray to kill this, right? To block Chariot. Or we can use it to stifle a Winota. Oh, that's fair, Grayson. Good call. I feel like people watching the YouTube video are just going to see Twitch chat and just be like, what the fudge? I was just trying to prove a point, you know? All right, so Byron's going to attack with a Chariot. We get the Ray. The Brutal Cathar will block Bone Man on the Chariot. At least that's the plan. Hopefully we don't get punished with like some sort of protection spell. And I think Bone Man trading is very good here. Yeah, Fable's incredible. Like, it's honestly just an incredible card. All right, no spells have been cast though, so now Graveyard Glutton transforms. So let's go copy Harvester. Copy will make me a blood token. I'm gonna kill a token. Stomp a token. Only played the one spell. We'll jam for 7. I'll eat 2 things and hit them for 9. We also have a bunch of blood tokens. Should we ever draw a land, we'll be able to loot it away pretty easily. Yeah, no kidding. It's one of the 2, Grayson. All right, land is a draw. Good news for me. 1 card left in hand. Could be something scary. It's just a goose. Chad, I think we have wrapped this one up. Beating Winota. We'll just keep on keeping on. Cheap. All right, we're back for the 5th and final match with Rakdos Midrange. Maybe this is the 6th and final match. Who knows at this point? We're playing against our friend Marshall, Chris Marshall. We're gonna keep. Hand's pretty good. We have a Duress. We have a 2-drop and a 3-drop and a 4-drop. Essentially the perfect curve. I don't think this card's legal, fam. Can I get confirmation on Malice? Oh, they reprint on M21. Okay. All right. So Tibble's Trickery, the take with the Duress. We're in business. We've essentially stifled his entire game plan with 1 little spell. Well, they were all in Theros, but they reprinted them at some point. We know these got the Tormod script, so now we just got to sweat Appealed Tibble's Trickery. All right, well, I think we have lethal next turn with the Misery Shadow and the Shield Red triggers. They're going to go to 12. We're threatening 8 plus the buff of the Misery Shadow. So he has 1 turn to Tibble's Trickery, or else the G is G'd. And it's also missing Fatal Push Cosmic. There's a lot of cards that are missing, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, the 1-drops are like the best cards in the Rakdos deck, so we have like nothing for the matchup, I don't think, so we'll just keep it as is, whatever. No cards in the sideboard matter. We could maybe bring in Bankbuster, Overpowered Kill, but they might have giant creatures that die to Powered Kill. Like, I don't know. The problem with Tybalt's Trickery is that it's a one-trick pony. You have to mulligan a ton to find it, and like the gameplay is just very bad. I think that the argument of leaving it alone in the format is mm, basically nothing. Like there's like very few things that actually matter when you play against or with the deck. It's not really magic to me, you know? But it's a combo deck, right? And it's a combo deck that has diminishing returns. It's a combo deck that has high variance in gameplay. And so you just gotta hope you don't lose to it. But it is one of those cards that, like, I've definitely considered banning it, right? Like, just might need to go. All right, let's go ahead and duress on one again. On the Trickery. They had the turn 2 again, and we had the duress both times. Easy game. You like that it exists? I don't. All right, let's just go ahead and Croxa. Doesn't really matter. They'll just discard like any of their big things. So if they ever draw Tybalt's Trickery, we're basically dead. I guess they can also miss. So they put it on the bottom. It's not a 1-card win. It's a 2-card one. You need a 0-mana artifact as well. All right, let's go ahead and play the Fable. Next turn we'll discard like Trespasser and something. We might keep the Shatter Skull so we can get Shieldred down. Shieldred's a very fast clock. But we have the token from the Goblin Shaman as well. All right, let's discard these two. Wonder if that's faster or slower than doing Harvest or Trespasser. It's maybe about the same. I think Shieldred just does a ton of damage. I don't think they have card draw, but maybe if they did, it would hurt them. All right, here they go. Stonecoil plus Tybalt's Trickery. Let's hope that they whiff. Or let's hope that we can beat whatever they hit. You know, like maybe whatever they hit's just not good enough. One with the Multiverse entered the Exile Zone. So they can play one with Multiverse, and now they can just play Immersion Ultimatum. Very cool. Very fun and interesting. Well, chat, I think I have discovered. Okay, so I can just let them have that again. I just get them, yeah, so we'll put back Pier, and then they get Tarask. Trask doesn't kill me, right? But it does, like, fight Shieldred. If it fights Shieldred, we get the Death Touch trade. We get to trade. Oh, never mind. They just get to play another spell for free. Whatever. Okay. Oh, we should have Piered. Yeah, you're right. I forgot that it would just kill them. Yeah. We should have won. It's fine. It's just, I just don't know what the cards do. This doesn't matter. I just don't know what the cards do. That was awesome. Was it? Just doesn't feel like an accomplishment, you know? I don't know, man. It's just like too easy. And it's all fake, right? It's all just like artificial uh you know, oh my god, really? All right, should I dress again? Did they top or bottom? 0 top, 1 bottom. I just feel like I can never cast the duress, right? Am I just dead? All right, let's see if they hit. Oh no, I really don't want to ban Trickery, man, but I can't stand this card. It's just so silly. Tormod's Crypt, Lel, ban, Lel, ban, Lel. All right, this is literally determining whether or not I want to ban the card. You know, it's just very funny. It's just stupid. It's not. How is this fun? You know, but like, I don't know. That's the point, right? We have to figure out a way to live with it. All right, how'd they scry? One bottom. Hmm. All right. We'll kill Tormod's Crypt. We waited a half a turn so we don't reflip this. They drew that for turn. They need two things, right? So it's just attack for 7 and 8 and hope for the best. They need two cards. They need the Epiphany and a 0. Yeah, basically Obomobo. Can't quite cast Coma. What is this? 6/6 creature? Stonecoil Serpent for 6? Okay. All right. Well, let's do a little outro here because I think this deck's good. Long story short, most of the good Rakdos cards that were made in the last couple years that fuel the Pioneer deck are all legal in New School as well. And overall, the deck plays very similarly to how it does in Pioneer. The only things you're missing are Fatal Push and Thoughtseize. We can kind of replace those with a little more expensive removal because I think the format is just like not really about insanely powerful one drops. There are swarm decks that the one drop removal is good against, but I think we can maybe leave that in the sideboard. We may want to have some different sweeper besides Brotherhood's End if we're going to play Liliana the Veil. Misery Shadow, I think you can probably trim one. I kind of want another main deck of Braid. I thought there's just a bunch of artifacts running around that are kind of annoying. The dresses were solid in some spots and they were weak in other spots. It definitely has a huge downside. Fable the Mirror Breaker, obviously great. Bone Crusher, good. Liliana the Veil, honestly, was great. Graveyard Trespasser, is pretty good against the aggro decks we faced, and Shield Red obviously just nuts. What I really liked about the deck is that it felt smooth. The mana base felt fine. The lands helped cast our spells. We didn't take too much damage from Sulphur Springs. The Shadow Skull Smashing was probably not good enough, but I don't really know what I'd want to play instead. The 4 creature lands, the Sokunzan, the Takanuma, I think they're all fine. We could maybe trade Takanuma for Castle Lochthwain. I think that's probably the way we can go. Sideboard, Soren's probably not good enough. It seems kind of lackluster most of the time anyway. Cut down can be any 1-mana removal. This is just the one we're playing. Brotherhood's End was very good, killing artifacts or killing the creatures. Bankbuster, we only drew once and it got blown up before we could really do much. And then a Braid was solid. I probably want 2 in the 75. Anyway, that is Rakdos Midrange for New School. If you want to learn more about New School, make sure to check out our Discord. The link is going to be in the description. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate y'all, and we'll see you next time.